Ebeo. Holding me now, people. I'm Maria Katsina. I met her for Ghana. My sweetie banana. She find past taking no Diana. I'm Maria Katsina. I met her for Ghana. My sweetie banana. Can you make me the mad? The body where you get to. They like seeing a fire.
Either as a partner or as an investor, the Katsina Green Economic Zone is on 800 hectares of land. The Katsina State Government has commenced construction of 100 hectares. So we're looking for a partner. And I'm sure with what I have said here, people will believe that once you invest in Katsina, you will be able to sustain your business profitably. In addition to that, Katsina State also is establishing irrigation facilities around the 61 water bodies that we have just mentioned. But more importantly, we have about 3 to 4 mega water bodies that are available for irrigation. For those of us that are interested in investing on the complete agri-value chain, the water body has, our water body have some irrigation facilities, and we can partner and finance the irrigation facilities as well with any interested investor. These water bodies there is one we call Sommet Dam, there is one we call Jobe Dam, there is additional one we call Jerry Dam as well, and we have the Danger Dam. These water bodies
to discuss more in depth and also to interact about Katsina opportunity in Katsina and also Katsina state readiness for investment. So first, I would like to invite Pierre Samuel to come forward, the moderator. And secondly, we have Mr. Harun Abagana, who is the lead consultant of Katsina state government. Then we also have Khalil Nur Khalil, who is the senior special advisor on economic matters to Katsina state government. Thirdly, I will have Mustafa Shehu, who is the executive secretary, Katsina State Development Management Board. Last but not the least, Honorable Yusuf Rabiu, Commissioner for Commerce, Katsina State Government.
Thank you, Jibril, and thank you to the audiences to be present to this specific workshop on Katsina State. I'm Pierre Samuel Gage. I'm handling the ESG and CSR Commission of CIAN, and I'm deeply involved in investments and sustainability. So we have a quick workshop about some key questions we can have from the different authorities present. Maybe I should ask them if they have a specific talk or presentation to have, and if you could.
Now there is a resurgence between the two countries, and this is the best time for any private sector investor to really come and look at Nigeria as a potential market. And here you have a state that has come and said, look, we can be the door, we can de-risk you, we can allow you to invest in key areas from mining to agriculture to healthcare, and we can handhold you as you form Katsina State into a base for your investments in the subcontinent, because we border Niger, not too far from Cameroon. You go along the northeast all the way to Chad. These are francophone countries that some of you already have interest and investment in. And working together with Katsina State Government, we don't just say investment, we actually look at it as a form of partnership. This is a government that will partner with you to give you the right enabling environment to be a launchpad in Nigeria and in Africa, and we can assure you that the most important thing that you need, which is the leadership and the vision, to actually support private investment is there. And I would tell you that I would conclude with one key metric, which is development finance institutions like the World Bank, Islamic Development Bank, AFD. These are key institutions that if you really want to know if a place has potential, look at to what extent these institutions are investing in a particular state or a country even.
So critically, I think as a rider to this particular important conversation, one of the fundamental area that is of importance to investment everywhere globally is synergy among government institutions to ensure there is that coordination to provide the ease of doing business thinking, not only in terms of paper, but in reality.
You have the mic, so it's your turn.
Thank you very much. I'll add to what my colleagues have mentioned. My name is Khalil. I'm the economic advisor to the state government. What we need to understand is Nigeria is quite a youthful, population. We're about 200 plus million people. I think the ages of 44 and below is over 85% of the population. That's why you have people like me in government. I'll give you a quick overview of what we're trying to embark on, in terms of the economic vision and trajectory of the state. When we came on board in 2023, the first question we tried to ask ourselves is, what kind of role does this subnational want to play in the global economic space? What kind of role do we want to play in a very fragmented multipolar world? We embarked on, ensuring that the state government becomes a globally competitive subnational, and we do this based on broad-based policies across institutions and priority sectors. So we said we're going to do it in 4 ways, right? First phase was for us to get and key into economic intelligence. So we had to kickstart our State Bureau of Statistics and ensure we have the right data to communicate to investors like yourself. Without the right data, all of these that we're talking about is moot. We have to give you the right, accurate, credible data on ground to be able to facilitate the investments that will flow into the state government. And then we instituted what's known as an asset management agency. This is an agency that is going to look at, or has been looking at, all the assets that the state government has, to begin to see how can we commercialize these assets and turn them into money spinners for the state government in terms of our income. And then we went on to the second phase. The second phase is what we did based on the policies and then the institution.
All I have to say here is going to be short and precise. And as a ministry, we oversee all the economic and the investment sector. So the only thing I have for you here is just to tell you that you have our words. That whatever we say here, we mean it. So to all the investors that are ready to come and invest in Katsina, we are more than ready. So that's all I have for you. Thank you.
It's a very big livestock and cattle producer, and they have special breeds that are very adaptable to our climate. And we are meeting with them on Monday actually to look at the first round of exporting this livestock cattle so that we can expand milk production and meat productivity in Nigeria. So there is a lot we are doing with France, and we would want to do more. Like I said, Nigeria, CFAO, Peugeot, Underpan, Peugeot Automobile Nigeria. So it's a long history actually between Nigeria and France, and we're happy that we can take opportunity of this renewed relationship. And these are just some of the examples, and we would want more. Is why we are here. Nigeria as a country is not here. Katsina as a state is here, and this is the largest gathering of investors, French investors and companies that deal with Africa, and we are here as a state, even if the country is not here. So we are serious about France. We are really serious about expanding not only investments by the
6 delegates from the French Parliament came to Katsina State. What were they coming for? Discussion about food security from the agricultural perspective. Katsina State Governor made it clear that there is need for handshake. And like what Mr. Haruna mentioned, it is not only investment, it is a partnership. Year in, year out from 2023 to date, including the next roadmap up to 2030, the state has large portion, about 13.5% of the annual budget, ready for expected investment. So if an investor is coming in and the state need to provide a counterpart funding, that will not be a problem in the state.
Hi, everybody. I am Sheikh Keita. I'm ambassador for the Ouvre. Ouvre is a World Union for Small and Medium Enterprise, living in Geneva. Thank you so much for your presentation. You didn't talk about the youth because tomorrow your country in European country in France is to build the new road to thinking what we can do to give the good knowledge for the youth people. You have to take your time to have some project for the youth people. So we have to take the time to make together the partnership for the French university and the French good school to make together better work. Secondly, I want to speak about the mobility. We don't speak about the mobility because the mobility is very important. When you want to build the agriculture, you have to do the mobility. When you want to have the good hospital, you have to build the mobility. So, and then you have, if you have some project about this sector, I'm very interesting. So, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your comments, basically, and the questions. So, you know, in a forum like this, we are limited in the vast amount of information with technical and vocational education. Primarily putting a full-fledged ministry instead of a department or some unit to look at TVET activities. And I would tell you that for 2 or 3 reasons. One, I know currently, because I'm fully involved in that project, the Katsina Youth Craft Village was given about $4 million to re-equip and to build capacity so that they can continue to provide services and training to the youth. We have over 10 skill acquisition centers in Katsina State, and a lot of them are getting investments that are driven towards empowering the youth. Like I said earlier, in fact, skill is the primary reason that China is China today. India is also India today because of skilled people, not really now because of cheap labor, because you have skilled people. So we're very much aware of that. Also, in terms of MSME, His Excellency actually headed the Nigerian Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency for 6 years before becoming governor. That's why we are #1 for MSME. That's why we also have the largest MSME fund in the country. No other state has a bigger MSME revolving fund. I think the UNDP alone gave us $1 million because of the vision they liked, and it focuses extensively on women and youth, because we are very strong believers that if you empower the women, you empower the youth. In fact, you
sector, ladies and gentlemen, in Katsina is quite rich. We have given the pamphlets around you. Any mineral resource that you can think of is available in Katsina, and we have gone ahead to do some geo scan. We have preliminary information. Collectively, or anybody that is interested in investing in mining, we can partner with such body, or entrepreneur, or a government institution. Statistically, we have kaolin, we have silica sand, falsified gold, marble, quartz. We have talc, granite. We have also other minerals deposit as well in Katsina. But more importantly is the state government is committed, like we have mentioned in the video, that we are ready, we have policies in place that we can risk your businesses in terms of our public-private partnership arrangement. We have the enabling laws, but more importantly, I think the government is committed to driving this process of business. Additionally, you can look at our websites. We have those informations readily available. So anybody that is interested in talking to us, we are available. we can share the details. We have done some level of feasibility studies, which we may not be able to present here, but I am sure if we go privately, we can discuss in a greater details for you to be able to take advantage of our abundant resources and our commitment in terms of policies, in terms of implementation, and in terms of making sure that you invest in Katsina sustainably and profitably. Thank you.
I will tell you that I'm a member of the Nigerian bilateral education group, which discusses potentially how countries can correlate with Nigeria to provide or to share skills. And Mr. Harun has nailed it clearly. We are very much happy to continue this conversation from the bilateral education section, so that institutions like the Youth Craft Village and other ones can connect with the ones in Geneva, or of course in the UK and US, in Paris, to connect and share skills. There is what we call Skilled Katsina, which is currently at the development stage. At the end of it all is to ensure that there is connection between what the community needs and the skills available. From the statistics, we have 27,000 road networks that connect to each other. So like what Harun said, you can have more than 3 or 4 options to reach a particular location in a safe and conducive environment. Katsina State now boasts to say that the first and now the only one that has the highest number of local road networks. The Rural Agricultural and Marketing Project is coming in, like he said, to invest more to ensure when there are farmlands, when there are schools, road passes through all the communities. So it is not a school in one community and a road in another one. It is a complete homogeneous system where each social investment.
You talked about the youth inclusion. By looking at our faces here, you know that in Katsina, they say nobody does it better than you do to yourself. So we are youth, as we can see, and we are here to do for the youth what you cannot do for us. So I'm saying that thanks to His Excellency the Governor, 38% of his political appointments are youth, even though not so young, but youth of our ages, and then so from our faces, that says it all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I think that
it's where you can choose 2, 3, 4 ways to get from one location to another. And you mentioned connectivity and mobility, very interesting, because RAMP, which is the Rural Access, Agricultural Access and Marketing Project by the World Bank, in fact, Katsina State was just selected for another $50 million additional financing, co-financed by AFD here in France, because of the huge impact and effort we have made towards agricultural connectivity and what we have done even with the little resources that have been received. Then in terms of general mobility, His Excellency now has bought 47 hybrid buses to improve mobility across the state. And as I'm talking to you right now, I think in the next 3 or 4 months, if you meet us again, His Excellency has invested in 4,000 electric motorcycles and has built charging networks across the state to support teachers and health workers as part of a pilot stage of using electric scooters to improve mobility. So these are some of the things we've done in that sector, and we continue to do, and this is where private investment can come and support as well.